Welcome to Have You Seen, the show where I discuss movies that you probably haven't seen. I'm your host, John, and today we're going to talk about... I can't even keep up the enthusiasm to pretend that I'm looking forward to this. Today we're going to talk about Reanimated. I hate my job sometimes.
In the mid to late 2000s, Cartoon Network went through something of an identity crisis. Instead of focusing on cartoons like its name suggests, it instead focused on live-action content. One that I remember was Destroy, Build, Destroy, about a group of people who destroy crap, rebuild it, and then they destroy it again. Then there was The Othersiders. It was basically a Ghost Adventures knockoff.
It's safe to say that this whole thing was a flop, and Cartoon Network soon went back to its roots with animated shows such as these. However, the memory will never truly go away. And according to my limited memory, this movement was precipitated by Reanimated.
Reanimated was a 2006 made-for-TV movie and was a pilot for the TV show Out of Jimmy's Head, which died a quick death within 20 episodes. It was about a kid named Jimmy who hallucinates cartoon characters. Truly a $1 million premise.
I would just end it here by just saying, this movie sucks, but I feel like I should give you an explanation as to why it sucks, so you don't have to watch it out of morbid curiosity, but, you're not gonna want to watch it. So here we go.
Our main character is Jimmy. He's your typical doofus protagonist. His father is both the principal of the middle school and a sugar-addicted moron. His mother is an astronaut, and his older sister is an alien.
If you think I glossed over that last part, the movie did as well.
At school, Jimmy is a doormat, and he gets taken advantage of by everybody. They steal his homework, copy his tests, and they even have him look after their dangerous pets.
Can you watch my man-eating python?
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't want you to get eaten.
The bush ears. Back when kids could keep dangerous animals as pets, it was a much simpler time.
Even his best friend Craig takes advantage of him. Jimmy, grow some backbone. Also, Jimmy apparently has a crush on Craig's sister Robin, but you can't tell because it's so subtle.
Robin? I just wanted,
Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver has better romantic chops than Jimmy has.
Sadly, Jimmy's dad isn't much better when he gives his son dating advice.
Pretend I'm Robin and ask me out.
I think I'll pass.
Come on, son, it's fine. Ask me out.
Jimmy, walk away. Your dad is not right in the head.
The next day, the school goes on a field trip to Golly World, an amusement park, which is a lot like Disneyland, if Disneyland was a lot more like Tuckahoe Funland. It was founded by a cartoonist by the name of Milt Appleday, who, if rumors are to be believed, had his brain cryogenically preserved and hidden within the park. Much like that one famous cartoonist and visioneer, Walter Lantz, the discount Walt Disney. Jimmy is dared by his schoolmates into finding the brain of Milt Appleday, which is under an ice-themed ride. He goes there and finds...
Okay, fine. 30 years in March, but would you quit nitpicking me? The point is, my plan is about to come to fruition.
whatever that's supposed to be, and runs off.
Get the brain?
Okay, first off, that joke wasn't funny. Second off, that's a weird cut. Okay, I mean, I'm sure that's meant to be funny, but much like my jokes, it's not funny.
Apparently, the terrible effect gave Jimmy brain damage, and the only cure is to give Jimmy an emergency brain transplant using Milt Appleday's brain. Man, this is gonna drive conspiracy theorists crazy for years. The operation is successful and Jimmy wakes up.
Jimmy, can you hear me? Dad?
Hiya, Jimmy!
Golly?
Apparently, having Milt's brain makes Jimmy hallucinate seeing the famous creations of said cartoonist, including Golly and Dolly Gopher, Tux, Croco, and Pickles and Pickles.
I hate that I mentioned every single one of those characters' names. And is this implying that Walt Disney, whom Milt Appleday is loosely based on, suffer from schizophrenic hallucinations? I mean, that's certainly a hot take if I ever heard one.
The animation on the characters is also not very good. It's Adobe Flash. Good animation is expensive after all. The characters are also horribly unlikable. Golly Gopher, who is based on Mickey Mouse, is an egocentric narcissist. He only acts in his own self-interest. I would say that they are funny, but you need good animation to make good slapstick. You'd think that they'd make the cartoon characters the best part of the movie, but that requires both good writing and a better budget. Jimmy obviously needs help dealing with his undiagnosed schizophrenia, so he enlists the help of his friend Craig and his crush Robin. Robin, as it turns out, is a huge fan of cartoons, and...
Hello, cartoon friends! I'm your number one fan!
The sound everybody makes when it comes to watching this movie. Uncomfortable silence.
By the way, the jokes in this movie are awful. It's kind of like watching a stand-up comedian bomb on stage. No one laughs, it's just crickets in the audience. Actually, you're better off listening to real-life crickets than hearing these jokes. Anyway, Jimmy is hired by the cartoon studio to replace Appleday's son as CEO. Turns out that Milt Appleday's kid, Sonny, was the same guy that was chasing Jimmy earlier. He's been searching for his father's brain for years so he can steal his dad's ideas and make a lot of money. Just like... Roy E. Disney? I don't know, this makes no sense. He spends the rest of this movie trying to kill Jimmy to retrieve the brain. He even rents out the attic in Jimmy's house.
It's a children's movie where the main villain is both trying to stalk and kill a child. And they say Pinocchio is dark.
So Jimmy becomes the CEO, and now everyone wants to be his friend, and get his autograph as well. Even his dad.
Stay away from him, Jimmy.
This drives a wedge between Jimmy and his friends, which Golly Gopher encourages.
And if it helps me regain my rightful place as America's favorite cartoon character, well, golly, that's just icing on the cake. What do you say, kid?
The beloved Golly Gopher, everyone. Since most people have probably changed the channel by this point, we're gonna fast forward to the end. Sonny kidnaps Robin, Golly Gopher helps Jimmy save her, they defeat Sonny, but he still lives in Jimmy's attic plotting murder schemes anyway, so what's the point? And a lesson in friendship is learned. If you want to learn more, there's the sequel spin-off series Out of Jimmy's Head, which was thankfully cancelled after only one season, partially due to the 2007 Writers Guild strike, and partially because it was just awful. Speaking personally, I think that even at the time, the only reason I would watch it is if there was nothing else on, and even then, there's always the option of going outside. The show never received a full home media release, and was lost for a while, until October 2023, when they were released on the internet.
And yet the lost silent classic London After Midnight is still lost. Truly, life is unfair. So, should you watch the movie and the show? Well, yes. If you truly hate yourself. Everyone else, I would just say, go watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit instead. Anyway, this has been Have You Seen? I've been John, and I hope to see you next time. Maybe. We'll see.
If you liked this video, subscribe to Killer Gorilla Productions.